All right, what up, world? Welcome to another show. Carl Briggs 73 Live, Street Psychology 101. Today's topic is I want to talk about the first race that we've ever won, or that you've ever won, right? And a lot of people, they're going to be like, first race? Yeah, my first race, right? So I want to ask the people today, what can you remember the very first race you ever won? Give you a second to think. Okay. Well, my answer probably would have been, oh, I was racing in elementary school and I beat 3 of my other friends, or whatever the case is. But no, the first race that I've actually won and you guys have actually won was the race to get to the egg in your mother's stomach. And oh man, wow, this is beautiful. Okay, so it took 2 people, a father and a mother, right? And they engaged in intercourse, and you were a little bitty sperm cell, right? But however, there was thousands and thousands of little Youves, right? Your little brothers and your little sisters. And what happened was you beat them all. You beat thousands and thousands of little Youves, right? To receive this blessing from something bigger than ourselves, right? And so this topic is to tell you that you've already won the race. You're a winner already. So now you just got to find what that purpose is, right? And so I used to have a problem with my self-esteem. Like, man, I didn't fit into this world. Like, man, I thought for a while, like, man, why am I cursed to be here, or whatever the case was. And when I thought about that, I'm like, wow, I'm somebody, right? And then thus, this makes everybody on the planet that's breathing equal, right? Know that you are somebody. Know that you are special. You won the biggest race. It took a different kind of strength, right? You've been resilient since the beginning. When I thought about it, for me, it was like a surreal experience, right? And the more I thought about it, the more the epiphany set in. And for some of my viewers who may not know the definition to epiphany, it is the moment of clarity. It's when things become clear to you. And today I'm helping that epiphany. Things will be clear to you after this. If you're having a bad day or a bad year, just know you already won. We all have won, right? And based on that, you have a different kind of strength, right? And you have the strength to overcome, adapt and overcome, right? And that's what we did in the womb. We adapted and we overcame, right? And we came into existence. Now, that took a lot. That took a lot. And it says a lot about you, right? Now, we want to try to morph into your success, right? Get into your success now that you know this, right? Know you special, right? And don't let nobody tell you otherwise, right? This show today is not only for the children, however, it's for the mothers, the fathers, right? The weak, the poor, the rich, right? You people are beautiful, right? And nobody's perfect, right? I woke up this morning and I had some good news, right? And I won't share that good news with you yet, but it'll be in some of my upcoming shows. And this news brought like joy into my heart. It let me know that this topic that I'm telling you, that first race we ever won, there was a purpose for it. And now I have more purpose. And I have a bit of a surprise for my fans, like I say, in the shows to come. Wow, this is a beautiful world. And so sometimes we see things that go on in the world with the news. I don't watch much news, right? And the reason I don't watch much news is because the energies that come from the news is just too depressing. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, either you're trying to sell me something to keep me broke, or you just want to keep me depressed, dazed, and confused, right? Now, when you get stressed out from watching the news, what happens? Your immune system weakens because you're depressed, you're scared, right? And so you start seeing things, and then you're looking at the world in a negative form, right? The news produces a negative form for us to see the world in, and it's just not cool, you know. I try to meditate now in the morning, right? Give myself positive talks. I do these shows to help me, and I look at my shows, you know, not to say like on a narcissistic or I'm arrogant in that form. I just watch my shows because me teaching you is actually teaching myself, right? And the best teacher is the student. Now, you little young men and young ladies just growing up in these neighborhoods right down here, not too far from where I'm at, and you know who you are. I don't have to have any particular order, any particular geographical area. You guys are resilient. Stop hanging on them corners. Start grabbing some books, right? You got libraries. You got libraries nearest to you. Utilize them, right? You know, I tell guys this all the time. You go out there and get yourself into these situations, and you didn't even go read up on the crime that you're doing. How much time I can get if I did a crime. So you're just unaware, right? Because if had I known in the past some of the things that I did, the time that I was going to get, and I would have read up on it beforehand, believe me, I wouldn't have done them, right? So like I say, go read. Use your resources. They have the resource center down there for you guys, down back by behind Chinatown, right? You go up Broadway, and then you make a left on Pasadena. Then you make the left on Pasadena. Then you make a left on San Fernando Road. They have a resource center for you guys through the Goodwill, right? And what they'll do is help you find a job, right? They will help you find a job. You can Google resource center Goodwill and see some of the beautiful things that they have. They're proactive in help providing the community with jobs, guys. Get off your behinds, right? Especially when this lockdown lifts up, right? Know that you are somebody. Know that you've already won that race, right? Let's get proactive, man. Let's start saving our money, man. Be frugal with your money, right? Go open up a bank account, right? Let your money accrue. That means stack up, right? Stack it up, man. You know, and then go shopping every 90 days. You can treat yourself every 90 days because every 90 days you've saved enough money to go, you know, splurge a little 100 or two here and there. I'm not saying don't treat yourself, but you got to become smarter, man. And I was inspired by a young man, you know, and rest in peace, Nipsey. Nipsey was a different kind of youngster. He was younger than me, but he was mature, right? And he left us. He left the youth. He left the elders something that they can grab a hold to, saying, if I can do it, you can do it. Let's go out there and get proactive in starting our businesses, right? Because guess what? We've already won the race. We here. Now we got to continue the race. We have to continue our race, right? And that's with anything you want to do, right? If you want to take a vacation, you got to save for it, right? And you got to stack that money and go take that vacation, right? Go take that boat cruise, right? Go take that plane ride, because the reason you need to do that is because it's something that you desire. Do what you desire, right? Do what you desire, and it takes a different kind of tenacity. And like I say, one of them is cleaning up our core self, right? Our core self and our desires will change once we change ourselves, once we change some of the bad behaviors that we have, you know. Like I say, just hanging on them corners all day. I mean, it's nothing coming out of it, you know. They say a man that gets up in the morning, a man or a woman that gets up in the morning and makes their bed up first is headed towards success. Get up out that bed, wash your face, right? Get your face washed, but make up the bed first. Get in there, brush your teeth, get your face washed, right? Breathe, right? Start meditating and start thinking, man, what direction do I want to go, right? And you don't want to go in a direction because, listen, crime will hamper your pockets. I'm talking to the youth that's out there and you're struggling, right? Struggle is good, but ask somebody. We have resources out here. I'm a living testament of it. There are resources. There are people that will help you out here, and I know it. I used to believe that it was more bad people in the world, but that's not true. That's not true at all. It's more good people in this world. It's more good people in the world than bad. You just ain't met them yet. Right? I have, right? Like my manager, Arlene, angel, right? Straight angel. Very good person, right? So you can't. I remember one time, man, a comedian by the name of Black Rosebud. He told me, he said, "Look, man." I said, "Man, I'll never have a good job. You know, I'll never get a good job." He said, "Man, why you keep talking like that?" He said, "Carl, don't you know you can't never say never?" And I came home and I got the job of my dreams. I'm like, wow. Right? So today's topic was the first race we ever won, letting you know that you're beautiful, man. You already winners out there, all of y'all. You know, shout out to my family members, all my family members. Y'all know who y'all are, right? In no particular order. All my brothers, man, my new found brothers, some of my old brothers. You know what I'm saying? I still got some old ties to some old friends. They need the help and they need to hear this, right? And know that I'll never turn my back on y'all, but my whole school of thought is just totally different now. And I want you guys to come aboard with this change process, right? Because the world is beautiful. No one has the right to hate. No one has the right not to love, right? We need more love than hate. Look what's going on in the world right now. And if you one of the people that's out there causing chaos in this time of pandemic, shame on you, right? Speak to your neighbor, man. Ask your neighbor if they need help with the trash, right? Ask your manager in your apartment building, can I mop the hallways? Can I help upgrade this building? Can I paint the walls? Stop writing on the walls out there. It brings the quality of where we live at down, man. And nobody wants to see that stuff, you know, right? And this is not an attack on that, because I too come from that. But when you start changing the way you think, you start looking at it from a different perspective, right? I don't have to do that to coexist with my peoples. Right? I don't have to behave a certain way or a foul way to behave with my peoples. I can become successful, man, and reteach these people, man, and show them that we love them, right? And you guys are loved, so hopefully you got something from this show today, man. Like I say, tune in, tap in. It's all real. It's not scripted, right? I don't write this stuff, and you know, it's just from my heart. And it's always, you know, I've always had thoughts in my head since a youngster, like a kid. My mind has always been sharp, like, and I was in a magnet program, and I remember my mom had came up there, and she asked my teacher, like, is he slow? Like, is he slow? Like, is he retarded? Like, and he started laughing. He like, no, he said, no, he's actually my smartest student. He just won't do the damn work. Right? And I look back on that and I was like, why was I so lazy? You know, it's because I wanted to play a lot. You know, as a kid, I didn't get that at home because of, when you have a parent that hasn't been taught a good parenting skill. And I tell parents this all the time. Let your kids play, man. Let them play with their Legos. Let their imaginations run, right? Because once you hamper that and you take that from them, then guess where they're going to go do it at? They're going to go do it in school, right? So they have to know time and place, right? And teach them that. You know, here, when you at home, these are your hours. You know, we got to start organizing the way we do things, right? Because they're here, right? We're here, right? We got to get more organized, right? You know, and now that we have the evolved brain, see, that first race we ever won, and I wanted to say this, that's the fight or flight. They call that the amygdala, right? That little stem that you see on the sperm cell, that's actually your spine and your master brain, which is the primitive. Primitive definition of primitive is first in its class, meaning the first, right? It's not old, it's just the beginning of something, the first, right? It was number one. So that's your primary brain. So we think from that. That's where the impulsive thoughts come from. So now, once the brain started to develop the third eye, which they call it the frontal lobe, right? The prefrontal lobe cortex, right? Which is this is where I think. This is where I slow down. You know, when you're mad and you start thinking like, man, if I hit this dude, I'm going to get 20 years, right? And then you sit there and you calm yourself down. That's that brain. But when you thinking like, man, you know what? I'm finna just go over here and take this baseball bat and I'm going to take the baseball bat and I'm going to knock all the windows out. That's that master brain that you've seen because you needed that brain then, right? You needed to live off that fight or flight to get to your mother's egg. Okay, you're older now. You're here now. You got to slow down and use your evolved brain now, right? Now, I'm not saying when it's imminent, right? When it's imminent, it's automatic. That's automatic. You're going to do something to try to survive. You see a bus about to crash into the building when you're standing in front of it. Obviously, you're going to jump out the way. But what I mean is this. That brain, how it works, right? That brain that helped you win that race, how it works is you're driving and somebody cuts you off. And you instantly take it personal, right? You didn't even think that, man, that person may have not even seen you, may be stressed out. So you instantly go crazy. Right? You pull up on the side of the person, you're cursing them out, you're flicking them off, they flicking you back off. Then all of a sudden you jump out the car and somebody ends up on the news. Listen, that is your master brain talking for you. Slow it down. It's not that serious. All right, somebody cut me off. That's what's happening, right? Now, I understand, I feel some kind of way, but where is it coming from? It's coming from that brain that got you to the egg, and you're using it wrong, right? So now, let's start using that brain, that master brain, and the evolved brain to morph toward our success, morph toward better communication with our spouses, right? And our friends, right? Your friends, right? Keep your friends in your life, man. Tell them you love them because tomorrow's not. You wake up one day and you're here one day and you're gone the next, right? And so it's all about purpose, right? Like, what are you here for, right? I found my purpose, man. My purpose is to talk to myself and people, right? I'm good with talking to people. I love talking to people, man. I love trying to research and learn new things. Primarily, I love to teach anyone, right, and collaborate with anyone. But also, there's some lost souls down there in these little holes of South Central LA, and they really need to understand why they behave the way they behave, you know. And some choose to do it. Some do it based on traumatic experiences, right? And I'm learning that. I'm learning that. It's different levels to traumatic experience. And so we have to be aware and ask questions. You know, and sometimes your friends, they don't mean to do the things that they do. They're just so unaware of why they do them. And you don't even care to pull them to the side and ask them. You know, some people don't like to be asked things in front of people. You know, and some people may not trust certain people. So if you got a friend that trusts you, pull them to the side when you see them behaving and gear them back toward their success, right? So they can get close to their success and just ask them, man, what's going on, man? How can we get some things situated, right? And they will really appreciate it. Now, with that said, I'm going to end this segment today, y'all. Love y'all, man. Got a lot more for you. Thank you for tuning in to my show. Like I said, it's not unscripted. It's just from the heart. If I said something that was offensive, it came from me, right? If I said something that was beautiful that touched your heart, it came from something bigger than myself. It's not me. It's something that it's a gift, and it's a gift from a higher power. And let's just get focused, y'all. I know if I can do it, you can do it. Love y'all.